This fall, GiantSizeTeamUp.com proudly presents a Thanksgiving story that everyone can relate to. Gathering from all over the nation, these family members get together to have a hilarious Thanksgiving dinner. What sort of hijinks can they get into? Find out by tuning in. Starring Breaking the Panel, playing everyone's favorite lovable grandpa, who can't help but name drop every person he's ever met in his entire life. And he thinks he's right about everything, and gosh darn it he is, 'cause white privilege. Playing everyone's favorite creepy uncle who's a little too touchy, Botched Podcast. They show up to Thanksgiving drunk and immediately put their hand on your leg, even though you're related. DC on screen, playing the unwanted emo child, going through a phase in life. Super depressed, and the parents are hoping that once again he gets back to his happy roots. Toy Power, playing everyone's favorite 30-year-old shut-in son who's still living at home with the parents. He doesn't have a job, per se, but gosh darn it, those toys in the basement are going to be worth something someday. Pokemon Go Podcast will be playing Mom, starring Chris Wisdom, whose voice is the only one high enough to reach those sorts of levels to even be confused as a female. And of course, the dad of the family, Blazing Defender Reports Travis Jones, who will break the world record for bench pressing Chris Wisdom on screen. To check out all their hilarious hijinks, head on over to GiantSizeTeamUp.com today.
This is wisdom. I really have to channel my inner bitch for this one.
Not long ago, deep in the Appalachian wilds, a group of drunken misfits joined forces to play Dungeons and Dragons. Inspired by boredom and equipped with loose morals and a questionable understanding of the rules, our heroes venture forth to explore strange new lands. So gather up your dice, your manuals, and your livers, and join us on a quest to make absolute fools of ourselves. This is Botched, a D&D podcast.
Party returned to Big Tinkerton, talked to some science bitches about making a Mootron out of the moomered vehicles, including a Donkeyhote. Then after talking to the science bitches, we talked to Jeb, and then made the city's defenses ready for the final onslaught of the plant people.
All right, welcome back to Botch. This is episode 48 of the
final episode.
Second season. I hate you.
Well, you made our listeners, Dennis. They're nice. I give us money, baby.
And we are going to start where we left off last time, right as the final battle is about to ensue in terms of the plant people versus the non-plant people. There is a map located behind me, which none of you listeners can see, but it's for the group here.
Twitter.
Yeah.
It's loading behind Dennis.
You can see it on Twitter.
It's buffering.
Okay. So
Facebook, Instagram.
Nope, just Twitter.
YouTube.
Fat life.
The black wall is obviously the metal wall of the city. The squares with little lines on them are tanks. The large circular crosses are helicopters. Mm-hmm. The tiny ones are the rockets. And the one with the B is the Brockacopter. The red squares are just personnel that are there in case something needs to happen. The little dashes, these little purple dashes, those are turrets. The little purple asterisks, those are those napalm bomb traps that you guys decided to put all over the place. And
I thought we put them outside the wall.
You put some outside the wall. You also put them on the wall.
Okay, they're all on the wall. Gotcha.
Yeah, for kamikaze purposes.
Gotcha.
The red line is the fire pit on the outside, and the X's are explosives that you guys put out. They're about 100 feet apart or so. And the brown line is the mountain up on the top, and then the green line is the forces of the plant people.
Did we plan this last night?
Yes, you did.
Oh,
While
wow.
totally fucked up drunk. Yep, you did.
It's actually pretty good
Yeah.
for being
not-
hammered.
Not bad.
You didn't draw it.
I figured not.
I just wrote, I wrote shit down,
the
and then
ideas
I drew it
are,
today.
Pretty.
So we need to send those copters out to go straight from sideways while they're getting front fire. So
That was the plan.
good.
Yeah.
So,
Well, hold on. Were you drunk last night?
Oh yeah.
oh god, yeah.
Yeah.
You were sober.
I was
Enough.
mostly sober.
Sober enough.
Yeah.
You were wasted.
Yeah, I was just totally gone. So I'm going to say the plant people are going to approach about another 100 or so yards up and then just halt.
Do they have like a plant song that they play?
Not that I can think of. I can't think of any song
It's like
puns with
1,000
plants.
children do the thing with the grass. And
They're singing the soundtrack to Little Shop of Horrors.
Is that happening?
Oh,
Fern Gully.
Or Fern Gully. Or it's a mashup between the two.
is there any music in the happening? I don't think.
Did anybody see the happening?
I've seen that.
A root version of M. Night Shyamalan walks out.
It's
Playing the soundtrack from The Dark Crystal.
It was the tree.
Was this an M. Night Shyamalan Alana? Yeah.
not this one, but that one is. Yeah,
Happening.
the happening is. Yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
So they stop, and you hear Rooty Giuliani talking, but it sounds like he's talking through
The plants.
all those plants, but also the entire field and the grass and everything. It sounds like his voice is just booming through whatever plants.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
Is there like a gnome version of Mark Wahlberg? Do we have like a...
Yeah, his name's Jed.
A science nerd?
Yeah,
It's just
he's
like, it's
also
the
pretty
trees?
buff.
Mark Gearberg.
I don't know if any gnomes are real buff, other than that one, Cord.
Yeah.
The
I
paladin.
don't even know if you're that
Paladin.
buff, are you?
I'm fucking swole.
What's your strength?
Is there a Dolph?
14.
Pretty strong.
I'm huge.
Yeah.
Is there like a Dolph Lund gnome?
No.
Gnome
The
Lumberjack.
buff scientist?
Yeah, no. There's not one of those. Plus, all the scientists are preoccupied building the
Sex robot.
Mutron fucking
Our
Donkeyhote.
donkey show that we're getting.
The giant donkey.
The fucking machine.
To Peggy. That's your mom, bro.
I don't even care.
Oh, Jesus.
Peggy's just riding the donkey's face, just rubbing wildly. Nope.
I care now.
I'll give you
So
a
much.
donkey.
I'm killing myself.
Gives a whole new meaning to pegging.
Oh. So his voice sounds out. Don't resist. Just give up. Become one of us. Once I have all the gems, nobody will be plant people anymore. Everybody will
Okay.
be equals.
Will I be good at karate still?
You won't need to be good at karate.
That's just an abomination.
That fucking monster.
You can suck my half-robot dick.
I don't want to live in a
Whoa.
dojo-lish land.
Some of the gnomes start to get a little antsy. They're like, well, I mean, I don't want to die.
They're gonna root rape you.
They're just gonna kill you.
Roll
No one will
everyone.
be plant people because you'll all be dead.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Or just roll like a performance to sort of give them like a last minute rousing.
Oh, I got an
Yeah.
18.
What'd you get?
Last minute arousing.
You got a one.
He's got
A
that
botch?
charisma.
I got an 11.
Well, you guys are kind of all split up, so nothing terrible happens. Just your
Oh, we're fucked!
tank and helicopter and rocket people are not super enthused by this. They kind
Can
of
I
want to
try
leave.
to? Can I kind of like turn around real quick, get myself back in the headspace, and
Well, your speech is not rousing at all, but you have guys in tanks, and that's the only thing keeping them there because they're like, tanks are pretty awesome.
In plants, tanks. Plants can't tanks.
Yeah,
okay.
they're pretty cantankerous.
Do they have the weed whacker setting on their treads?
There's a
This
buzzsaw
is
on
on
the front.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do it all?
Oh, you should have done the anti-mine device from World War II in Vietnam, where it's a tank. There's a big shield
With the shreds?
and it's like chains.
Chains.
Oh,
Where were you last night?
hammered. I was hammered. I don't think I was in charge of that department.
No, you weren't. You
You
were
had
in charge
walkies,
of-
though, so you could talk to each other and give each other ideas.
Yeah.
I was
But we
fucking
chose not to
drunk.
talk to each other.
Grohl tried to talk to everybody, and you guys kept shooting him down.
Yeah. Shut up, Grohl. We don't
Shut
wanna
up,
hear
Grohl! I turn off my walkie.
I moved to a different channel.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, your tank
should've-
and helicopter people, while discouraged by your shit speech, they have awesome weaponry at their disposal, so they're not leaving.
They can always fly away.
Yeah, and they could always fly away. At least
what
the
I'm-
helicopters.
Hold on. Do you remember setting up a nuke inside the Brockacopter?
Did I do that?
You gave me,
No.
yourself, and
This is what you did.
Grohl keys.
Austin.
Here's your note.
This is the note you gave me.
Yeah, we all got a key.
Maybe you can interpret.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we should have burned the field. So there was no grass.
Yeah, got it.
I feel like they could just burrow kind of like.
Yeah, but then Rudy wouldn't be able to talk through the blades of grass.
Should we ask that root guy?
Jed?
on our side?
Frank Sandcastle?
Franklin
He thinks they're gonna-
He's not here anymore.
He's right behind you guys. He's still wearing his disguise.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we have him in a burqa.
Yeah.
That's a good
he says, "Oh yeah, no, he's like I said. I already told you guys he's full of shit. Like he won't kill quote unquote anybody, but he'll then just turn all of your people into just mindless slaves, and then he'll make sure the elves come out on top."
How do you think he's gonna?
How's he gonna attack?
assault?
My guess would be when I was still connected, he's just gonna move up and then sort of just wrap around and surround the city.
Makes sense.
He's just gonna hit you up front and then come around from the sides where you're probably less defended.
Do the gnomes, are they ready to
Rockin' Gnome.
StarCraft their home base up?
You have crews that are there waiting to do stuff. I mean, I don't know how fast they'll be able to repair walls when there's just a massive.
We should have turned it into a giant flying thing and just. All right, well, see ya.
Oh.
We're Dalaran now.
You only had an hour, so I don't think we would have had time to.
I feel like they would have already had that kind of thing going on.
They had something similar, but it was just they put it on thousands of Roombas.
And magnets.
And it doesn't move very fast.
But it cleans. Where does it go?
We should have turned the whole city into a helicarrier.
Anyway.
Gnomes
So
could do
anyway.
it in an hour.
So that's what he tells you, and then Rooty Giuliani says, "You have 5 minutes to decide."
Oh, we already decided.
Could we try
We
to
decided
mock
you can
mock
suck
Julian?
my dick.
Yeah, let's
Well,
mock him.
okay. So you want to okay?
Vicious mockery.
Roll to mock.
You look like some kind of.
Who's got more than +2 charisma?
I've got
Alright,
+2.
assist Brock.
No, I've got +2.
I've also got a +2. So, Cord assist Brock.
What's
Roll assist me.
Assisting you.
I feel like I have advantage on intimidation, but I'm not entirely
What's your
sure.
intimidation?
I don't know.
What's your intimidation plus?
18?
It's the same as my persuasion and performance.
I got a 17.
Okay.
I got a natural 20.
Okay.
Assisting me.
Yeah.
No, you were assisting him.
Oh, right.
No. If you were assisting him, your roll doesn't do anything.
Right, I'm doing it on my own. I never said I was assisting
Oh,
him.
okay. I thought
I
you.
said he was-
Oh, okay.
He said I was assisting him, and he was wrong.
Okay. So he seems to be. I don't know how I would say that he seems to be rattled, but like the plants sort of shake a bit.
He seems rustled.
Yeah, seems a bit rustled, and he's.
You look like you've got termites.
Is
doesn't
Russell Burton
seem-
out there?
No, he's dead.
Show your shelf.
Well,
Russell.
he could be out there because they could have just pilfered the corpses and turned them into.
Sabotaging son of a bitch.
Is Jasper out there?
Jasper is out there.
Good.
I mean, somewhere. I mean, you don't see him. You could do a perception check to see if
Roll's
you
never
notice
met
anybody
Jasper.
or whatever. So yeah. So then they're gonna just start to move up pretty quick. And like I'd said last night, but you were probably all too drunk to remember. There are all shapes and sizes of humanoids, but they're also like giant plant monster type things. Some of them just look like generic giant plant people. Some of them.
It's like the Army of the Dead from Game of Thrones with plant people.
Well, you also see some root coons, and some other root-based giant creatures. So, there's a lot.
Go for the
of
big
that.
ones first.
What if we let them come all the way to the wall and we start firing on them and they kind of press in and do their rap thing and then we do the explosions outside when they're already all on top of them?
You'll be dead, wouldn't you?
No, the outside of the wall.
Oh, yeah, because
so
these are all triggered, so they're not mines.
I'm triggered.
So yeah, you guys set them off whenever you want to.
Yeah, so I say we wait for them to be already like kind of scaling the wall so they have like a critical mass over top of those mines.
If you
yeah.
want, you can draw on the map to indicate when you want to set things off.
Well, you said they were going to come forward and then wrap around.
Yep.
So once they start to wrap around
Yeah.
and they're on top of all of them,
Uh-huh.
then go boom boom.
So yeah, the fire pit is not lit. So is that what you guys are gonna do? Just wait till they get all the way up to the front explosives
Yeah,
before?
well, we're going to be giving them fire.
Yeah, well-
Oh, so you
From the
okay?
wall. So we're
Okay.
shooting at them from the wall as soon as they're within range.
So we're going to shoot with the turrets. We're going to have the helicopter strafe.
Yeah. I'm gonna say
big
that.
guns should hit the big things.
Yeah.
Unless it's like unless they have some area of effect damage.
Okay. Well, I think the rounds that you guys picked to load are shrapnel rounds,
Okay.
so they just are just gonna shred.
I thought we said phosphorus.
Well, phosphorus grenades. You picked shrapnel rounds for the turrets.
And the helicopters have napalm.
I thought we picked
Yes.
3 different kinds of ammo for the turrets.
Nope.
We
You
had
have
discussed
different.
something.
You have different types of guns for the infantry, like semi-auto, pump, and auto. Shrapnel rounds. Well, actually, no. The turrets are armor piercing. The infantry is shrapnel rounds, and then you have phosphorus grenades and napalm bombs.
Who the fuck chose armor piercing?
I don't know.
Terrible idea.
Yep.
Who is in charge of personnel?
David Hypan.
That was Cord. Or no, the personnel training was David Hypan, but the picking of like weaponry stuff, that was Cord.
I swore we picked incendiary rounds for something.
That was my tanks
that
and
was for the tanks.
helicopters.
Okay.
I'm not a karate.
Yeah.
They didn't choose their guns.
Yeah. The tanks have incendiary and they have saws up front. Because you guys kept saying, saw, dude. And then the rockets are filled with napalm and Roundup, like a mix.
Mm-hmm.
Then the helicopters have Gatling guns, Hellfire missiles, fire bombs. And then the Brockocopter is just loaded with whatever shitty fire stuff that they can cram in that piece of shit helicopter. That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's
Brock could just like hang off of it with flame on mode.
No, I'm going to be
Just
my
run
own
through.
helicopter. So in case things go bad, I can
That's what I'm
leave.
saying. You're on the rocket copter.
Wait. Yeah, well, that Brockocopter's the only one that's not flying around
And you
right
can
now.
go off into the frozen wastes because you can be a fireman out there.
I could survive.
You could.
And the plants can't grow in the ice, apparently. Maybe.
That's not proven.
Well, you probably last a while. So anyway, yeah.
So okay. So I'm going to say
Kennedy Lodge.
the last line of X is the furthest one down, so probably about almost 1,000 yards out or so. That's probably the range of the turrets. The personnel, that's probably the first layer of X's, because they're just using regular handheld guns.
What's the range of the tanks?
The tanks probably can start hitting about 100 or so yards past the bottom row of
Yeah,
X's.
shell those
Okay.
motherfuckers.
So they have some pretty good range. The front rows of
Because
tanks.
they can do artillery.
The back row of tanks, they're probably somewhere in the middle. And then you have the tanks in the city that it's not real easy for them to aim because there's only that one little slot to shoot out of. So they kind of just are just going to be shooting out of that hole, and that's that. So they're going to fire in the same spot each time. Unless you want Jed to open up the dome. No, okay, that's fine. And then the
Not yet.
rockets,
The rocket dome.
that one, I'm going to say Jed will open up a spot for them whenever they launch. So you just yell out a phrase to Jed.
Rocket!
Rocket! And then you
Rocket sauce!
Red rocket jet.
Red Rocket. Yeah, so okay. So yeah, that is the current setup as the army starts to approach. So what is the plan? Is it the one you were saying?
I like that.
Yeah.
Start firing with the turrets as soon as they're in range, and then wait till they get all the way up, and then set off the bombs?
Start firing with tanks and turrets till
Okay.
they cover the front section of
Okay.
traps.
And then activate the trap.
Yeah, the tanks. Mecha Brock, roll 3 d20s for me.
And then we light them out.
Don't add them together. Tell me what each one is.
19, 16, 15.
Okay. So as the army of plant people starts to approach, they pass that, or they get right around the first row of X's, and they start getting shelled by the tanks, just blowing apart these plant people. They have an incendiary round, so it's causing like little fires right around the spots. But there's just so many plant people that they just replace their ranks like immediately. I assume you probably tell them to fire for the bigger guys once they get in range.
Yeah, and also always have your saw blade running
Yeah, no, they have that.
so they don't get overrun.
Yeah. So roll a couple more d20s for me, please.
How many?
3.
12, 16, and a 1.
Okay.
You're dead.
I'm not in any of them.
Just your tank basically like has a bit of a misfire, and they just have to replace the shell. Nothing awful happens with it, but it does take out a couple of these giants. Just basically blows the top half of it off, and it stays lit on fire, and then it just falls over, and then sort of dissipates and turns into smaller plant people that they just keep going. So that's the tanks. I'm going to say they're about halfway through the minefield now, and that's when the turrets are going to start going off, because that's when you. Yep. So everybody else roll 3 d20s for me each.
Fire the turrets.
Not me.
Yeah, not you, because you're taking care of the other stuff. When did you want to set off rockets? Did you have any plan for that? Or?
When they get in range of the rocket.
Oh yeah, no, they've
Oh, well, then,
they've been in range.
Yeah. Well, should we save the rockets in case something let's save the rockets for the first wave, in case like their bigger enemies are in the back line,
Sure, man.
or wait till we get overrun.
Save the air support until there's some dire need.
Okay.
17, 18, 18.
All right.
We got 12, 14, 19.
Okay.
You get 11, 17, and 19.
All right. So you guys, the turrets, it's like if anyone's seen Starship Troopers when they're in that base and they're just firing at this wall of bugs. It's very similar to that. I mean, it's a mass of just bullets just flying all over the place. It's deafening. The gnomes are screaming. Just and some of them like have obvious wood. They're just so excited about this. They're like, this is fucking awesome. And it's just they're cutting down everything. Like when the plant people get to that middle section of mines, the advancement starts to slow down a lot because there's just so many bullets flying by. Until the turrets then have to reload. And they try and do them off kilter, so that way there's always some guns firing. But as soon as they start to have to reload, that's when they start to advance. So I'm going to say at this point...
It's like a bullet storm.
Yes.
Oh, fucking blow it, bro. Blow that shit.
Light the moat, set the bombs off.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm going to say that at this point the plant people are about 100 yards from the fire moat, and they're now all the way past the bombs that are in the ground.
So what's happening to all the tanks that are out there?
They haven't been touched yet. They're still continuously firing, so you can roll for me.
But they haven't been like overtaken?
No, because they're behind the fire moat.
Got it.
Yeah, so you kept them close to the base. I mean, you can have them drive out if you want, but...
No, I don't see any point in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we could try to bring them in. After we blow the hatches, we could try to...
They're behind the fire moat, so they're not really...
Yeah, but they're going to be the first casualties.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be
But
there.
I'd rather have the tanks get hit first than the walls get hit first.
Roll to die for the helicopters that are flying around.
So I did my tanks at 17, 18, 14.
Yep, they're still cranking away at the bigger targets, just blasting away. Just...
And then a 17 and an 18 for the helicopters.
Yeah, so they're flying around, and they're keeping a pretty high distance because they start off kind of low, and that's when vines start to go up towards them, and they immediately bank out of the way and move up higher level. They just start firing off Hellfire missiles into the massive sea of plant people.
And did we say that they have
napalm bombs too,
but they have
Gatling guns.
Gatling guns on them?
Yeah. So there's guys on the side of the helicopter also firing in like little Gatling gun turrets while the helicopters
with cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And those aviators.
No goggles.
No, just aviators.
Just 4 cigarettes.
Just 4 cigarettes. And just
get some.
They're dropping off the napalm.
Get some.
And
good morning, Vietnam.
They're gonna run out of ammo not too long. They're gonna run out pretty quick. So, but I mean, for right now, they're doing a hell of a job just tearing through. But again, it's still a sea of stuff. So
it doesn't feel like we're doing much.
It's like a drop in the bucket. You guys are tearing apart a lot of stuff. It's just there's so many.
It's like we're at Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
But we can see the back end of them now, yeah?
No.
No. What's that? Oh, you just didn't.
I just didn't get all the way in. No.
So should we blow it now, or should we wait a little while more?
Well, they're all the way in, so I mean, you could blow it.
Should we execute Sandcastle because he's probably a spy?
He's definitely not a spy.
Okay.
It could be. I didn't say one way or another. It's not like
we just believed him when he said he was.
Yeah, we discussed that briefly last night. We trusted him real fast. Yep.
What if we don't blow all? Do we have specific detonation?
Yeah, each one. So pretend there's like a table.
All right.
And it looks like
what if
a
we don't blow
keyboard
them all at once? So like we blow maybe a third of them or half of them.
And they have screens indicating where like the stuff is, so they can know which ones they're setting off.
Yeah. Okay. Like do that.
Just blow the back row, which because they're in the middle of it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Why
do
not?
So the lowest row.
The lowest row.
Okay. So he stretches out his fingers and he's like, "This is gonna be fucking awesome!" And he just hits all the switches at once that are in for the back row. And it causes these massive fiery explosions. Just boom. And they sort of blow up and then they blow out. And it just causes this massive like fire cloud that just incinerates everything within about 100, 200 yard radius, I would say. Just massive fireball. Everything's just blackened. Each one of those goes off. It takes out like a shit ton of area. But again, it gets filled in then pretty quick. Mm-hmm. So
That's bad.
you can do perception to see if you can see like the end of the line or anything.
Yeah, I'll try
like
and
that.
We can do that.
I don't, but
Okay.
I forgot my shoes.
24.
You can't see the end of it. It looks like it just goes and goes and goes. So it's at least a couple miles.
Could I have a helicopter? Do we want to have a helicopter see if they can scout out?
I mean, they could probably radio in.
You can have them do that if you want. All right. So
Besides, they're going to have to rearm soon anyway.
Yeah, so they're already
Yeah.
out there. So
Okay.
let's have them.
do a little recon.
both of them or one of them?
Just one.
Okay. So one of the choppers.
And I want him to see if there's any larger enemies,
Okay.
like of stature, that we
Sure.
should be worried about.
So the chopper goes Roger, Roger, and then
Roger.
takes off and goes pretty quick. And after a little bit, you don't even see the chopper anymore. And it takes about 10 to 15 minutes before he radios back in. And it says, Ryan, I've got some shit news. Looks like these guys are all the way back to where New Cloverton is. So hours and hours of this shit. Strap up your boots, boys. It's going to be a long fucking day.
All right, let's do this in real time.
So he starts to fly back.
I'm really late to work.
And after about 5 minutes, you hear him say, "Hey, what the fuck is that?" He's like, "We're gonna engage."
No,
No? Okay.
no. Just pull up. You can get closer, but pull up. I don't want you to get.
They're not getting close. I mean, they're engaging in terms of just firing on
No, just take a picture of it and come back.
Yeah, I don't.
Describe it.
it. It's a giant robot. Well, it's not giant, but it's that robot that
Okay.
came to town.
That's fine.
But it seems like it's
Enforced?
setting up shop at about Atlanta.
Doing what? Setting up what kind of shop? Like a karate dojo?
No, it looks like it's putting some sort of
Library?
things in the ground. It's up on the top of the hill.
They're laying eggs.
It's got like these clamps in the mountain, and it looks like it's turning into some sort of giant gun.
Is this a Gundam versus Gundam thing? Are we about to have...
I don't know what you're talking
Oh, god damn it, Dennis. You've been watching too much Pacific Rim.
No.
No.
No such thing.
There's no such thing.
Take that back. How long do we have on our not Gundam suit?
They didn't give you a time. They just
They
said
said
hold
half
out
an
until
hour.
it's done. Oh, half hour? Okay. So you probably got about 20 minutes?
Keep on firing.
Okay. So they're going to hit that fire moat. You guys said you lit it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in about... It keeps them at bay for, I would say, about 30 seconds to a minute.
Okay.
And then they just use such a mass of plants that it just smothers out the fire.
Okay.
And then they start to swarm the walls.
Guess this is when we should blow the next rose.
The tanks are doing the best they can with their saws or whatever, but again, the roots are going around the treads and in through every hole that they can find. They're just ripping the tanks apart. And you're hearing over the radio, they're fucking in the tank! And they, one by one, they just go dark. And the people are throwing their phosphorus grenades, and they're just firing at will, just, you motherfucker!
Blow 'em.
Yep.
The next row?
blow the
Or that
Blow 'em all.
first row?
Blow 'em
Oh,
all.
all of them?
Yeah.
And that guy's just like, fuck yes! And he just hits a big switch. It's one switch. And it just, all of them flip. And just a wall of fireballs just pop, 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 pop. And then
Pop, pop.
pop, pop. And it's just this wall of fire almost. And that seems to have done a lot more damage. There's a few plants that are on the inside of that firewall, which are getting shredded up by the guns. But the sheer amount of fire that was caused by that simultaneous blast is keeping the rest of the plants at bay for a bit. Because that fire is burning so strong that any plants that get near it are immediately just incinerated. So that is the current situation. The chopper then takes this moment to come back and both of the choppers come in and they land and they rearm and then they get back out.
Send more napalm on those fuckers while they're cowering from our other fire.
Rockets?
Yeah, rockets.
Well, if the only thing that's big out there is the robot,
Egbert.
Well, they have those giants, but again, they're getting shredded by the tanks and everything pretty.
and we're gonna probably fight him Gundam v Gundam.
And Donkeyhote can take care of the plants.
Yeah. All right, let's fire some rockets.
3 D20s.
Did we decide we wanted a sword and a shield or no?
You did.
It's a crit
both.
20,
Sweet.
A sword shield.
Sword shield.
a 14, and a 17.
All right, so now did you want these in any particular like did you want them clustered together? Did you want them spread out? How did you want these situated? Right now, most of the fire is obviously in this like area here.
Yeah, I don't want to fire him back into the fire.
Well, no, I'm just letting you know. So that's where nothing is currently located.
On fire.
Set more fire to the fire.
Burn it brighter. So just any old place, pretty much. Okay.
Yeah, because it really doesn't matter right
Okay.
now.
Well, you could aim for some of the larger targets too.
Let's go for giants.
Okay. So you hit 3 giants. They just are gone, and a big mass around them. I would say those bombs are about 200 yards circumference. The rockets that you shot off are filled with so much napalm that I would say it's about 1,000-yard circumference of fire. So it's pretty big and substantial. Stan. So yeah. So that is your current situation. Do a perception check.
Nope. 12.
16.
The only person that notices something is Grohl. He notices a little flash of light in the distance. But
Hey,
he
there's a little flash of light in the distance.
can't quite tell what it is.
But I can't quite tell what it
I
is.
think it might be death coming for us. In laser beams.
So what would you do with that information?
Get my binoculars out
Okay. So you get some binos.
and look at it.
Okay. I'll give you advantage on your perception check with binoculars. Somehow.
25.
With a helmet.
Well, I
You
had
hold the helmet.
binoculars on, so I would take the helmet off.
You don't have eyes.
Shit! I would use the helmet that has. Hold on.
Hold the binoculars up
Hold
to the
on.
helmet.
High or low?
Low.
It's high. So I have,
you have
built-in
binoculars.
zoom. It's a
Jesus.
96.
So it can breathe underwater, it can let you see, and has magnification.
Yeah.
Yep. You can see that it looks like Egbert is charging up some massive laser attack aimed right at the center of the city.
Why us, bro?
We should move this
Shouldn't
city.
he be shooting Rooty Giuliani?
No, he's working with Rudy because we have more gems than Rudy does.
He's not necessarily working with Rudy. He's just more. You have more gems than
He's
Rudy
not
does.
working against Rudy.
No, he
Why
doesn't
would
care
you
as
get
long as
Egbert
Rudy
the
doesn't
gems?
edge him.
We've talked about this.
What could go wrong?
The friend of my enemy is my enemy.
We want to be the most powerful people. But we don't know why we're collecting these.
Maybe if we give them to him,
We're achievement whores.
He'll complete his.
I
life cycle
need
and become an
absolute power.
alien. Okay. The Obsidian Star.
Must take over the world.
You have the banners ready and everything done for
I do.
So seeing that, do you have any sort of
Do we have some sort of a reflector array where we could?
that? No, they weren't expecting lasers from plants.
Well, no,
giant
but I
mirror?
could tell Jed, and Jed could make a chrome mirror to reflect it into the sun
Or back at him.
or back at him.
We could strap the shield to it.
That's my shield.
You could put the energy
It could
shield.
work.
That you know what? It could.
10% of the time, it works every time.
It's 35%, but yeah.
35% of the time.
You could tell Jed that and give him that shield. It's not like
Yeah.
yes, you're using it.
Yeah.
All right. So Jed makes, and he's already pretty exhausted, but he manages to, he takes your shield and then it basically puts it on like a little hand and like holds the hand out. So it's a big metal hand that's sticking out from the wall holding the shield.
Tiny little
It's our one
shield.
thing.
And he's like,
Hope to God this works.
he goes, just in case this doesn't work, you boys might want to get away from the middle part of this wall.
Yeah, I do,
Okay.
and we instruct all our forces to move to the
sides?
Same with
Okay.
the tanks. The tanks move.
How far to the right and left do you want to move?
Like all.
All
Like to where the tanks are, or
fucking-
further? Like how far each side?
within the city.
Well, no, I mean on this wall. How far to the left and right do you want them to
To
move?
like the middle
That row?
The middle tank.
Like right here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the beam goes
And
off.
also the tanks on the inside of the city,
Yeah.
get those to the sides too.
Okay.
Basically, move everyone.
Yeah, so just move everything to the sides. Got it. All right, so you feel the very ground start shaking, and the air seems to be electrified. And this massive flash of light, and then you just feel all the air get like sucked towards this thing, and then boom, towards you guys. The beam hits the hand with the shield. The beam is so big that it goes around that hand, but the middle part of it does get reflected back.
That's awesome.
But
Now, does it then scatter shot around it? Or
so imagine that the circumference is like a foot and it's just the hand, so it's going around the whole hand.
Okay.
But the part that hits the hand itself is getting reflected back. But the other part is going to basically take out chunks of the wall, and then there's no forces because you guys moved them. But I would say you moved them just out of the way.
It's like, oh, thank God I wasn't.
So you have, I would say, about 100-foot wide tract of land now that is just burned into both sides of the wall. And the sides of the wall that are still there are molten. They're dripping metal. That's how hot the beam was.
That's awesome.
The beam that got reflected back basically hits Egbert and causes him to explode. Sort of. Part of him sort of explodes. Like the lower half of him blows off.
I zoom in. Yes.
Yeah. So basically the beam hits him back like around the, we'll call it abdomen, and just blows the bottom half and the top of Atlanta off. And he gets flown through the air off to the side. And he just crumbles down the hillside.
Thank God.
Do I still have sight on him?
You can't see him anymore because of all the plant people.
Okay.
But that part is just dead. So it worked. I rolled an 87. So
Pretty well.
worked out.
Good idea.
Good idea. And then the fires are starting to die down again, so it won't be too long before the plant people run back in. So I would say you have another 10 minutes before Donkeyhote is ready.
All right, well, let's assemble ourselves as close to Donkeyhote and our everything as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
To our Trojan donkey.
Actually, let me...
And tell the gnomes to continue firing.
So the beam hit the building that Donkeyhote was being put together in. You don't know the damage to Donkeyhote or anything like that, but it did go through that building. Just FYI.
Maybe the beam went through its legs.
Maybe. I rolled a 93 for that, so it definitely hit,
To hit the
building. Yes.
But like,
You can't tell what the damage is from the outside.
it could have gone
It could have done a whole lot
under
of things.
the Don Quixote's head.
It could have done a lot of things.
I assume the energy shield's dead.
Yeah, it's gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I ask for a shield.
That
I
metal
need
hand
a
is
shield now.
a pool. It's just a pool of molten
Jed, make me a shield
metal.
quick.
Jet is just like
I know.
and
Maybe
just
some
gives you
armor.
he gives you a shell or a shield.
He turns you into a shield.
For full plate there, bro. Too.
And fix the hole in the wall.
Magical full plate.
Well, he can't do that.
Give
That's
us.
a little more intricate than just a round object.
Okay, well, make him some armor then. When you have some like leather armor, you could toss him and you can turn into metal.
Fix the hole in the wall.
It won't move so well.
I'm good with the shield. Let's go.
Fix the hole in the wall.
Yeah.
He says
Please.
it'll take a couple of minutes for him to have the strength to fix that. But he's already putting his hands in the ground. He's trying to do it, but the wall isn't moving very quick. So if the plant people hit that, they will be able to break through.
All right. All forces fire at will.
Okay.
So Will's dead. Now fire at the enemies.
As soon as you can see them again in range.
Yep.
And then
As
we're
soon as
gonna
you
go.
can see the green of their chlorophyll.
We're gonna go to the building where Don Quixote's being built.
Okay. So you can hear the firing of the tanks and the helicopters and all that stuff as you run into the building. I would say that the front entrance is pretty much decimated. There's a lot of fire. The secretary that was giving you shit yesterday is dead. There's like half of her laying there.
Dumb bitch.
Yeah,
Half of her face just
that's right.
horizontally.
Fucking take it.
Perhaps if you had studied karate, you'd still be alive.
You could have dodged it,
You could have deck shaped.
deflected it.
But it looks like the elevator's not functioning, as the building is kind of on fire.
All right. I'll use the stairs.
Okay.
This is like it's a robot donkey that Voltron is riding. into battle, right?
We had a couple ideas for that. It was either going to be the front half of a donkey, and then the Mutron just sort of connects to it. So, and then you have fake legs off the side like a Halloween costume. That was one idea. Or it's Mutron riding a donkey.
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys were pretty split on it last night.
We were very split on it.
You were super split.
No, I'm down on mounting Donkeyhote now.
Well, first, what was it that you had planned? I forget what the plan was before Donkeyhote. You came up with it. And then somebody just said donkey, and then I said Donkeyhote or something.
I said Donkeyhote.
Yeah. And then
And then we were all on
and then he even made the
Donkeyhote.
comment, yeah, I didn't even vote for my idea.
You would have to listen to the other episode.
So yeah. So you can get to the stairs, but again, it's a bit treacherous as part of the building sort of falling apart.
Up or down?
What, where you need to go?
The stairs, yeah.
Up.
Okay.
All right, we go.
We go up.
Okay.
I'm not
There's a gap, I would say, about 15 feet or so up. So you're going to have to jump it.
I jump it.
You just jump it, you don't have to roll for it or anything?
your strength score.
If I can move 10 feet, I can jump 20 feet.
Okay.
15 for me.
I jump it.
I jump it.
Okay. So you all just jump it. Veet, veet, veet. And the stairs start to rumble a bit as if they're about to fall apart. So
let's go fast.
I run.
all right, so you guys run up the stairs. If I recall correctly, it was the third level that you guys met on the last time.
Yeah.
So this time when you get up the stairs, I'm going to say there's probably about a 30-foot gap. Basically, where your stairs are, it's a 30-feet gap all the way to the doorway, which is busted, so you could just go in the door, but it's 30 feet away.
High or low?
For what in a helmet are you trying to do? Like, before you even tell me. What is it that you're trying to do with your
High or
helmet?
low?
No, I want to know what it is first.
The grappling hook attachment.
You
to
don't
my
have an
helmet?
attachment.
He rolled for it.
High or low, Dennis?
High.
Of the helmet.
I don't have a grappling
Okay.
hook inside this helmet.
I have a
Where would you put the grappling hook in your helmet?
right in the forehead.
I didn't make the helmet, Dennis. It's from the fucking future, Dennis.
Everyone sees me being surrounded by a silvery mist, and then I teleport 30 feet to the door.
All right.
It's a cantrip.
Okay, so you are at the door.
Hold on.
Misty Step?
Yeah.
Bruh.
That's a good one.
Hey guys, you want to throw me the rope? And I'll attach it to something over here.
Sure.
Catch.
I have a
Dex for
grappling hammer, but it only reaches 20 feet.
I got a 14? 14, yeah.
18 through 14.
Yep, catch.
All right.
So then I guess you're just gonna try and find something to tie it to.
Yeah.
It seems like there's one of those drinking fountain sort of things. It looks pretty sturdy.
I bet my life on it.
I'll bet their lives on it.
I attach it to the
Okay.
fountain.
Roll intelligence just to make sure you tied a good enough knot.
I got an 18.
Yep, you did. You tied a good enough knot. So yeah, everyone else can just climb up this rope.
Use a square nut. We're all gonna die now.
Everyone roll a
Hey.
d20 just to make sure they don't have any issues climbing a rope. Did you botch? You botched?
Not botch.
Brock is gonna fall off this rope.
You suck, Brock.
He
It's to make up for all the 20s I rolled last episode.
I mean, it's not gonna kill you. I mean, you'll just take fall damage from falling a couple stories, but
Then you gotta
Can someone try and catch him?
somebody. Well, if you're all
I got
climbing a
a
rope,
I got a 24 on my athletics to climb the rope.
so yeah, you just climb right up.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I could be able to attempt to catch.
Well, it depends on what order you went in.
I jump after him.
Okay.
I jump after him and ant pack down so I get to him, hold on to him, and now we both slow fall. So I guess Dex.
Couldn't you blink again and we would just both be there?
Yeah, I guess.
Is it
so.
like Jumper?
Well, I would blink to you, and then we would just slow fall down.
But could you blink us back up?
It'd have to be in sight, so we could spend some
Could
time.
you blink yourself to
Blink.
girl's arms?
Bling, bling.
I mean, if he's just gonna slow fall down, but
Yeah, then look up.
then
at
he's
girl
gotta get
who's-
back up.
Has his arms out, and you can blink into his arms.
Yeah, all right, we can do that.
Yeah, let's do
All
that.
right, so Dex to jump towards him.
Sure, we'll go with Dex, and then I want you to do an intelligence just because there's a lot of shit going on in this
20.
complicated thing.
22.
Yeah, you jump right into. So basically, Brock falls about 5 feet, and
I
you're
have my
already
arms-
on
It's
him.
like 5.
And I got a crit 20 for intelligence.
I have my arms out as I fall backwards, like Jeffrey Rush
Okay.
in Les Miserables.
Okay.
When he falls into the water.
So like Nightcrawler, cord is on you, wraps around you, and then
Bamps. Bamps out.
Into-
Bamf in, bamf out.
back up to the level, or
Because he's a badass motherfucker.
Into Grohl's arms.
yep.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good cantrip. A teleport.
Yeah.
It's pretty limited, but
Yeah.
it's good for
30
movement.
feet.
Still teleport 30 feet. It's pretty good. Worked out for this. All right, so you are all now on that third level.
Should I roll again?
For what?
I don't know.
No,
To do what?
the
Fall
door.
back out of the door?
This will kick the door, Brock.
I pushed
No.
Brock.
there is no door.
I saved you. Now I'll kill you.
Your life is in my hands. You die when I say.
I can end this.
Vengeance.
I can end this whenever I want. I teleport you 30 feet into stone.
All right. So you are now on the third floor. It is a bit chaotic up here. There's a lot of dead gnomes. There's a lot of fire damage. It does look like the laser cut through here in some fashion. Maybe not the whole way through, but it's looking pretty bad. Sprinklers are going off. Doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot about these fires.
Grohl likes it wet.
All right. Well, we're gonna run to Mutron.
Okay. So there's only a few gnomes that are conscious. They're sort of trying to take care of the injured gnomes. You don't see Mutron anywhere, but I mean you can always ask a gnome.
Where's Mutron?
And they pull off like a badge. And they give it to you.
Okay, yeah, got it.
You need to go to that back door and use the badge.
Okay, bye.
I do it.
Thank you.
And then throws up on his friend's face, who's unconscious. So, whatever.
So his friend asphyxiates on
His vomit.
the other guy's
Well,
vomit.
he just sort of wipes it off his face.
Murder.
He's all right. So yeah. So
He's gonna get pneumonia now. So he aspirated some vomit into his lungs.
Pneumonia.
Pneumonia.
So you get to the back door, and there's that key card slot. Luckily, it's on the correct side of the door, so it didn't get blasted by a laser beam. So it goes... meep when you do that.
It paws at us.
Turn around.
So this time it goes beep, 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 and the door opens and then gets stuck after about 4 inches.
Grohl.
Grohl pushes
Grohl.
the door
Pole, I would say.
to pull the door.
Sure.
Pull door. I roll a 13, so it's a 21.
Yeah, you managed to... It slowly slides. You hear the grinding of gears as the door doesn't really seem to want to budge, but you just pull the door open, and as you pull the doors open, we're going to take a break. Well, hey there. I didn't see you come in. My name is Vermit Drunkfist, and I am a world-renowned dwarven barbarian spy. This month on Botched Podcast Patreon special, you find yourself deep in enemy lines as we go to war. So if you want to get access to these exclusive episodes, then you head on over to patreon.com/botchpodcast and subscribe today. For $3 a month, you can get access to over, I don't even count that, 65 hours of bonus content. For $5 a month, you can hit on these assholes in the Discord chat. Send them dick pics if you want. I don't care. I don't judge when I'm drunk. For $10 a month, you can make fun little traps and monsters and encounters with regular day-to-day or week-to-week episodes. I don't even know where I am anymore. And for $50 a month, when you want, you can have Dennis, the DM, the world's okayest DM, give you a phone call and he can sing you a lullaby or read you a bedtime story, and he'll give you like a wake-up call when you're passed out drunk in the morning. So head on over to patreon.com/botchpodcast. You just can subscribe today. That's a tough word. And we're back. As you slide open the doors, do a perception check.
No.
21.
22.
All right. So all the lights are off. They're sort of doing that flickery thing where you don't have a whole lot of power and there seems to be sparks coming from random wires. Every time there's a spark, you get a little flash of light. It again doesn't look like there's a whole lot of activity as far as gnomes. It's pretty smoky in there. But there's one sort of crawling towards you guys, kind of all covered in blood.
Fuck! I can't feel my legs!
Can you, like, heal him, Cord, now?
You technically can, yeah, you have lay on hands.
It's because you don't have legs.
What?
Turns and looks and no legs below the knee.
What the fuck?
All
You
right.
still got knees.
I use cure wounds on him.
Okay.
Restoration.
Should
So
I put him
just-
out of his misery?
No, it just stops the bleeding, so then his legs aren't bleeding anymore. They're just healed up at the nubs, right?
Yeah, so he gets
Okay.
7 hit points.
So you
7 inches back to his nose.
Yes, alright.
He's nubs.
Thank you. What the fuck was that?
It was a laser from a giant robot. So
Oh, Jesus.
we need our giant robot.
Mutron. It's in the back. But it might be a bit damaged.
That doesn't sound good.
Just go check it out.
All right, take his key card.
they said Mutron doesn't require a. It's
It's
coded.
voice activated.
It's coded to your biometrics.
That's not
Take
what
his
he-
hand then.
That's not what he
Your
said.
biometrics.
Oh, all right.
Not
Yeah,
his.
take his hand. No, all right, fine, we got it.
So yeah, so if you just keep heading straight down that little room, it opens up similar to how they used to do with like Mechagodzilla during the Godzilla movies, like big open stage, and then they just have like a rail around it, that sort of thing. But the sword arm is disconnected from the rest of the body. Everything else is attached and looks good to go, but sword arm is laying off to the side. It seems like it got damaged a bit.
Well, that's bad.
Pee bad.
Franklin says, I think I might be able to help with this one, guys.
Oh, you're gonna be the sword, aren't you?
You're still here?
No, but yeah, he's just falling right behind me.
What?
So he connects himself to the end of the arm and then to the end of the robot and sort of just, he's acting as a sort of like glue, sort of holding it together.
Sap, really.
Until the screws in, or what?
No, he's holding the arm one. Yeah, because it's he doesn't know how to repair an arm. I mean, I don't know if you guys would know how to.
Cord might.
You might not have time to repair it.
Is there an instruction manual?
No, there doesn't appear to be one.
All right.
Is there one preloaded into the helmet?
With
No.
18 intelligence, do I know what to do?
If you had more time, you probably could.
Wow.
But there's not a ton of time. I mean, based on what you heard before you left, it sounded like the planet people had started to like make their way back in. So,
Okay.
but if you, so the cockpit is open in the chest, and it has 5 seats. It seems like it's separated almost in like a star pattern, but there's just 5 different, or is it 4? 4 cockpits, I should say. 4
Shotgun.
cockpits.
Oh, it's a beam cannon.
So, you guys, and it has like a little name tag stitched into each of the seats, so you know who's supposed to go in which one.
Nitrogen high pan.
Which one is Grohl's seat?
That one.
Grohl sits in that one.
Okay.
I sit down.
So as soon as you get in, nothing happens, but there is like a little
Guess we should have left without Mechabrock.
data pad. I assume you're getting in.
Yeah.
Mechabrock? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a little data pad where it looks like you might, and it says, please place your hand. A little digitally.
I put my hand on top of
Okay.
the cords.
So when you do that, all the lights come on, and the hatch closes, and then it looks like some sort of shielding goes across. So then your chest has a shield, because you're not just some fucking...
Mutron requires a system update.
Open the
This
thing.
will take 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Damn it, Windows XP.
God damn it, Comcast.
So once the shield is closed, then you have sort of like a holographic readout where it shows you what's going on the outside.
All right.
And there is a large red button that says Donkeyhote in the middle of each of your consoles, by the way. Boop. All right, so each
Everybody
of you
else
hit
is
your
doing it.
Donkeyhote button, and all of a sudden red lights start going off in and you just hear... And
I love the sound of klaxons.
the wall behind you opens up, and you turn to look, and completely fine, not damaged in any way by the beam, is a magnificent Donkeyhote. It's a robot donkey, and it's got these like diamond-shaped red eyes, and it's got a snout and everything, and like Guyver, the steam comes out the nose.
Yes.
It's got windmills etched on the sides.
And so
A sexy windmill.
Yeah.
Like a windmill pinup.
Like a Moulin Rouge.
Yeah.
it lowers itself, so it's easier for you guys to hop one, basically. So it's like stilt legs all the way to the base.
All right, yeah.
Mount that donkey.
We mount the donkey.
So in doing so, it's kind of hard to move because you have to move in a coordinated fashion. So everyone roll.
Or everyone just assist me.
Left leg, right leg, left leg, right leg.
Well, each of you is sort of controlling certain things.
What are we adding to this?
This is a
Intelligence?
yeah. Do an intelligence roll.
18.
Got a 14.
11.
I rolled an 18, so I got a 16.
Okay. You all are smart enough to know how it works, so now it's just a matter of actually doing it. So dexterity.
We gotta get on that donkey.
22.
Got an 18.
23.
Okay. So you guys have somehow not necessarily mastered it, but you are moving in a coordinated fashion, so it's not a huge deal. And you get up on top of the donkey, and these little like reins pop up for you to hold your hands. Robot. Well, I guess you only have the one robot hand, so your one robot hand attaches to it, and then the legs extend back up. So Donkeyhote seems to be separate from you guys. Like you guys don't necessarily control Donkeyhote. It's an AI, which then just talks in your ear. It says, "Greetings. I am the one designated as Donkeyhote.
Hi.
Can't you? Nah, never mind.
Is this a test simulation?
No, this is the real motherfucking deal.
Accessing real motherfucking deal."
Oh shit.
And then all of a sudden you just hear, and the sides of it open up. Just missiles start shooting off everywhere and just decimate the rest of the building.
Hey, wait, no, don't blow the building.
So the building just falls down around you guys, and the rubble clears and the smoke, and you guys are sitting on top of their magnificent steed. And it sort of rises up a bit, and then doesn't neigh.
It brays.
Or whatever.
Whatever sound donkeys make.
Whatever sound donkeys make. And then gets back down.
Do you want me to pull up my donkey soundboard?
Perception check with advantage.
25.
Something. 20
The
something.
plants are starting to overrun the shield. They've ripped the top of the shield off, and they are now like overtaking the turret areas. You see people setting off their napalm bombs. Doesn't seem like they're doing a whole lot. Just blowing up themselves, basically.
Yeah.
You'll never take me alive.
The people on the inside of the wall hear the ruckus behind them, and then immediately start running towards Donkeyhote.
Okay.
Because obviously that's preferable to
What, getting stomped to death by a robot donkey?
plant fucked. Well, they're not running right towards the feet, but they're running in the general direction of Donkeyhote. So yeah, so now it is up to you guys to do whatever it is you want to do. Donkeyhote just starts taking off towards the plant people, by the way. Jed seems like he's starting to get overtaken by plants too. Like he's got his hands turning into like large swords, and he's just cutting swaths. He's just cutting swaths through them.
Swastikas?
Yep, swastikas into the plants. But there's just too many of them. They're starting to like overtake him, and he seems like he's getting pulled away into the plant people.
Sword arm?
Should we just kill him and take his gem and add it to our robot?
Do you need a reminder of what weaponry you have?
Yeah, what is our robot?
Yeah, what do we got?
Okay. That, but robot, yeah. Well, you have your giant cannon arm. Then you have a sword shield thing. So you basically, you can change it between sword and shield. And then, oh, it's over here. Oh, I forgot about this.
There he is.
Donkeyhote actually has most of your weaponry because you decided you wanted to change that. So Donkeyhote has a flamethrower dick and buzzsaw shoes, quote unquote.
I think that was mine.
The buzzsaw shoes, yeah, yours. The flamethrower dick, I'm not entirely sure whose that was. It might have been. So yeah,
And missiles?
Apparently missiles.
it had missiles for some reason. They added it to them.
It's the way they get it out. The door actually didn't open large
Yeah, they
enough,
didn't.
so
They didn't actually think of a
they're
way to
planning
you
and
know.
blowing the building up to get it out.
Yeah. Or at least the back wall. So yeah, so Donkeyhote just starts galloping towards the plant people.
These are too long.
and
No, they're perfect.
and sort of bursts through the wall, just decimating it, and his flamethrower dick extends and just starts shooting fire in every direction.
It spins in a 360 right?
Well, at first it's like a fire hose that isn't controlled, and then as it gets a little bit momentum, it's just shooting in a circular motion, so it's like a fire tornado shooting out of his dick.
Okay.
And then he's got the buzzsaws on his feet. He's just running through plant stuff, and nothing seems to be stopping him as like all the plants sort of like hop on.
Okay.
Season 3 will get more serious.
Sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to have any particular goal in mind, the Donkeyhote. It's just sort of just galloping through plants, just attacking.
Can we locate Rooty Giuliani?
Perception?
No.
Can I zoom in to see if I can see the back line yet?
Sure.
19?
It doesn't look like it yet.
What about Egbert? 24.
Based on the amount of Egbert that was left, even if he was still alive, you wouldn't be able to see him because he'd be too short.
Okay.
Yeah. That doesn't mean that he's not alive.
Do I see Julie? Rooty Giuliani? 25.
He seems to be standing on what's left of the Atlanta mound. Just arms folded, just watching.
Let's go for him.
So you see that.
So I tell everybody.
I say we shoot him with the cannon.
Is the cannon the gem cannon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if we get his
So we
gem
need Jed
and Jed's get gem.
to stick his dick in our cannon.
No.
Well, no, you guys... You originally had that idea, but then it was decided that he can't touch it in any way or else he'll just turn it to metal. So
It's
you're just
already
going to
metal.
have to settle for 4. It's
Okay.
not all metal, though, but yeah.
Man.
Could we kill Rooty Giuliani and
4 gems is still pretty strong.
get a 5th gem in there?
We don't have a slot
There's
for
no
it.
socket.
We should
Yeah,
have
no, he didn't
extra
build it
expansion
inside.
stuff. The fuck's the matter with us?
We did. They didn't give it to us.
Because they were asking what would you need it
Yeah,
for.
they said, why? And I said,
Murder?
I don't want to tell you.
Don't worry about it.
And they said, well, we're not going to do it. And Jet was right there. So it couldn't be like, Exe on the Umte.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
But you do see in your check that you do see the plants that are pulling Jed through the mass is towards Rooty Giuliani. So he's getting pulled towards Rooty.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
let's save Jed without touching him.
Okay.
Wouldn't the plants touching him turn to metal and then die?
They turn into metal plants and they keep killing him.
They turn into metal plant, like the ones that are immediately touching him turn into metal, but then the other plants are then just touching those plants. So they're just so he just he's like stuck in like a metal ball kind of. So they're pulling him.
Touching me, yeah, I'm touching you.
He's about 1,000 yards out, and they're pulling him pretty quick. I mean, you guys could catch up if the Donkeyhote was of the incline. I mean, you could get off Donkeyhote and just let him do his own thing. It's up to you. But it's whatever you want to do at this
we were
point.
riding Donkeyhote and shooting Rooty Giuliani.
You could do that. I mean, you guys haven't really decided on what you're doing.
Well, I mean, we could have Donkeyhote launch us towards Rooty. We could beam cannon and let Donkey defend the city,
Okay, see that.
so that when we defeat all the enemies, don't come back to everyone being dead.
Sounds good.
That's a good idea.
So what are you doing?
So we're going to go a bit further,
Mhm.
and then do like the thing that you see on all the Lord of the Rings movies, where Legolas gets on the back of the horse and then jumps forward,
Okay.
and Donkey's gonna turn around and go back to the city.
Back to Donkey Protocol.
Everyone roll animal handling for me.
Aggressive.
21.
Okay.
20 or 17.
19.
14.
All right. So you sort of jab the Donkeyhote in the side with your robot boot, and it sort of turns towards Rooty Giuliani and starts galloping that way. Again, just happily destroying everything in its wake. Just fire dick going off in every direction. Yep. That's a long one. So, at what point do you want to get on and jump off, or how do you want to do this?
What's optimal range on our laser cannon?
I mean, technically, you don't know. No one knows what the range.
I'm gonna
of
pull
it
up the help file.
is. Okay.
Frequently asked questions.
What's the range?
Beam cannon
Undetermined.
subcategory.
undetermined.
Let's try firing it.
Untested.
Yeah, because they haven't.
Do we know how many shots we're gonna get with this, or the recharge time between shots?
Frequently asked questions.
They said that. Well, that's why they had you get that crystal, because that's supposed to be like a pretty powerful power source. So,
And Ralph's okay with it.
You ready, Ralph?
Can we talk to Ralph?
you can try and talk to Ralph.
Hey, Ralph, how many shots do you think we can get off?
As many as I say you can, you fucks. Using me like a fucking battery.
Well, yeah.
You said you're okay with it.
Whatever.
You got it. You volunteered.
Just do whatever till I get bored.
All right. Well, let's start murdering.
I'm bored.
Oh shit.
Arm falls off.
Let's blow up that fuck over there.
He's like, all right.
So you do the animation, I guess, for raising the arm. Well, it's got a lock in place, and it has like a shock looking system to it. So it looks like it'll fire and then have like a recoil to it. So So when you load up, it seems like it's going to take about 30 seconds to a minute for this to fire. Each of the gems light up, and like little beams of energy like start to emanate from it and like hit other parts of the cannon as they move up and down the cannon. And then they sort of coalesce in the front of the cannon in like this ball, but there's like little bolts of electricity hitting it, so it's like a ball, and then the little beams of energy coming from each of the gems. And then about a minute later, you're gonna fire. So hold on one second. So right as you're about to fire, you on Donkeyhote get hit with some sort of energy weapon, it seems like, and it shifts your aim a bit. And you fire this beam off, and it just goes right by the Atlanta mound, just missing, which immediately gets the attention of Rooty Giuliani. And then he's going to move, obviously, and not stay in that same spot. But it doesn't seem like you've taken terrible damage to any particular appendage, but you do have like not a wound, but some damage to the chest region. What?
Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a perk sitting next to me.
Okay. And then your
but
cannon
the means
is
are sweet.
smoking. And then your cannon is smoking.
What is it smoking?
Heat.
Lucky strikes.
Sure.
They
So, yeah.
toasted.
So that happened.
All right, well.
What hit us?
You're not quite sure.
Perception. 19.
So it looks like the top half of Rooty Giuliani is crawling with like both of his mortar cannons out. And he's just... Egbert. And he's just pop, pop, pop with his mortars. They're just not doing very well, but he did get off a lucky shot and hit you in the chest. And it did some damage, but not anything major.
Let's finish him off before we continue.
Yeah, so
I like
guess
this idea.
shield form above us. So
Okay.
if anything gets a direct hit, we get the deflected.
Okay.
Or, stop most of the damage. And
So the shield... Okay.
we'll walk towards Egbert.
On Donkeyhote or just hopping off him at this
I
point?
thought we said Donkeyhote
No, Donkeyhote
was
is going back.
to defend the city.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're already hopped
Yeah,
off.
we jumped off.
Okay. So you're off at Donkeyhote. All right. So yeah, so you're just going to wander right up to Egbert?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's about...
Well, as far as we can get before the cannon's charged again.
Okay. I'm going to say Egbert at this point is about crotch height. He's not all the way up to your waist, but he's about crotch height at being about half
Let's sort him.
body.
Yeah, let's sort him.
Okay.
Sorting hat.
So
Yeah.
roll an attack.
All
Who?
of us.
Who did we say was in charge?
Crit
of the
20.
arms?
I do it.
Yeah, I feel like if it's a melee thing, it's
Probably Brock.
and roll.
Okay.
Crit 20.
Okay.
Oh, Grohl was
Me
a
too.
leg. Right? You guys are the legs?
Sure.
Yeah.
You're the
So-
right arm and torso, and I'm the head.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you stab at him.
Stab at the...
So you stab at him, and he goes to try and catch it, whiffs entirely, and it cuts off his arm at the shoulder. And then he's going to take his other arm, turn it into a cannon again, and try and fire up at you guys.
Okay.
Quick, switch the sword into a shield.
He's going to fire before it doesn't change quite fast enough, and he hits you in the chest, which knocks you guys back a bit, and you sort of fall backwards. And then
Dodge the cannon.
plants are going to try and overtake you, but if you guys just get right back up, they just rip apart. They're
We
not-
get up.
Yeah.
We get up.
So yeah, he's going to just keep firing away at you guys if you try and get close.
Hit him again.
I'm going to cut his head off.
Okay, so you go in for that.
Oh, he's an egg.
Can I use?
Doesn't have a head.
Can I use my feet?
It's us.
Your feet?
You want us to
You
We're
can
the
stomp
feet.
on him if you want.
We're gonna stomp on him.
Curb stomp him.
My large weapon.
No.
No. All right.
It is pretty large.
We could use the feet.
19.
So
And then they can do
Then
a
we can
jig
kick
on his face.
wait, are you stepping on him first and then stabbing? Or
I don't
just
have
stabbing?
control of the feet.
All right, so you
I
just
feel like we have to run up to him so you can stab him.
And then we'll
Stab
kick him.
first, and then we'll step on him.
okay.
I did 19 to hit.
Okay,
We'll
it's
jig
gonna
on his
hit.
face.
Yeah. So you get up there and you run up to him and he tries to fire off a shot and he just misses horribly and you just put it right through this thing's head. And it just splits the top of his head open and he sort of slides down the rest of the sword and sort of stops.
And then we kick him off.
Is there somebody inside of it?
Cut off the sword arm. Or the,
You can't
the other,
tell just from
three
that.
Cut off
midgets?
the other arm.
Yeah, cut off the other arm.
Do a perception check.
Is it gonna explode?
23.
22.
Well, with advantage.
No.
It seems like these little energy tendrils are shooting out of the bottom and where the
Out of
hole
his
is in the-
bottom?
yeah, like the bottom half of him.
Out of his butt.
Yes,
Out of
out
his
of his
bottom.
butt. And his missing arm, and they're just wrapping onto you, and just in different parts. And they seem like veins almost, that they're going towards that cannon that's on your arm.
It's probably fine.
No. We need to get the foot back.
I'm
gonna
not
try and
I'm
take
not-
the gems.
I'm not in control.
Kick him.
Let's jump, kick back, and activate our rocket boots. Do we have?
You can strength to try and get to separate.
What's
strength of a giant
the bonus
robot?
for strength?
20.
Well, we're just going to go with a straight roll.
As strong as roll?
Oh.
So just straight roll. We're just doing straight rolls for the robots.
Who's the command pod? Brock. You were the
I was the arm.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're the legs.
all right. Initiate a hasty retreat.
So we're all
Brock, you strength us out, and then Grohl and Hypan, you hightail us right away from this thing. Wahoo!
15.
counts as assisting
Yeah.
Okay.
because we're all doing it together.
15.
Unity.
So you rip some of those off, but not all of them. And they're still growing towards that cannon. I'm going to say they're about 15 feet from the cannon at this point.
Why are we shooting?
And it's just wrapping all the way around your robot. And your circuits are starting to like light up and blink and stuff.
But we've.
Oh, Donkeyhote! Should we shoot him
And
well,
there
it's
seems-
energy. How can you shoot energy?
with an energy cannon?
You could shoot your energy cannon at him.
For 20. I'm not shooting it.
Your feet.
Kick him in the
Really
head.
hard.
You also hear like some weird static feedback.
We have a radio
So
on this thing?
I mean, you all have, yeah. So you can talk to each other.
Perception?
24.
You hear this weird, I will be whole again.
Is it Julian?
Julian will rule once more. Give me my gems.
No.
You just hear that, like,
Egbert was
scroll
Julian.
through there. Yeah,
Got it.
King Julian.
yeah. So you can fire off the cannon at him, at the body, or you can
Yeah.
stab it again, whatever you want to do.
All of the above.
Both.
Let's do the cannon.
Both same time?
Yeah.
Not at the same time. We don't want to wreck the sword.
19.
Sword first, then shoot.
18 to hit. With
Okay.
the knife.
I mean, I feel like we built this beam cannon. You gotta be using it.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know I had control of it as well. It's 14.
Yeah, so you sort of put the beam cannon like right at its face. The energy tendrils try and get to it, and he just vaporizes the rest of Egbert. Just the only thing, there's nothing left. There's a hole that looks like it goes all the way down until you can't see anymore.
To China.
You can't see
We
anymore.
dig to China.
Because
Let's go in the hole.
it's not a big enough hole.
Ground people.
Oh
mole
no, the
people.
moles
The
come
mole
out.
people.
The naked moles.
Mike,
Now is our time. We will take the surface lands.
Mike
it's bright.
originally wanted to be a mole person. I was like, you could be a mole person.
would've been
And then
great.
he's like, I think I want to be Franklin Sandcastle. I was like, all right.
But I'm not going to roll stats.
And I'm not going to show up.
His dog got sick. It's the thing. All right, so yeah, Egbert is no more.
Fuck you,
You suck, Julian.
All right, let's take care of Rooty Giuliani and Jed.
All right.
Yeah.
So do another perception check for me.
Is it still advantage?
Crit 20.
Not a great 20, but still high.
The
I'll get a 3 and a
plants
4.
seem to be rustling at the moment, and then they sort of fall down for a second. And then all of a sudden they get this like metallic sheen to all of them.
Yay!
And then Rooty Giuliani gets big, and he's covered in metal as well.
Oh, he got the
And he's
gem.
got 2 gems in his head.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Beam cannon to his face.
Yeah. We should have killed Jed.
We gotta call. We gotta call Donkeyhote.
Yeah.
There's a flare. Turns into a windmill. So you do that, and then you just hear...
Nope.
Is that Mr. Hands?
Is that someone fucking a donkey? And then just galloping through the crowd of metal plant people, although he's not really doing anything anymore since fire's not doing anything and blades aren't really doing anything. It's just sparks all over the place. He bounds towards you guys and he just stops next to you.
We mount him.
Mm-hmm. All right. He pops down real fast. You get on top of him. He does that thing where he jumps up a little bit again, makes some noise, and then what? You're having him ride towards Rooty Giuliani?
Yeah, let's shoot him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're riding towards Rooty Giuliani. He is now twice as big as you guys are. And his arm is now this massive axe, I would say. And the other one is a shield. And he's just trundling towards you guys, just real slow, plodding steps.
Since he's slow, why don't we just use our superior mobility by a donkey to just like kite him and shoot him the entire time?
Yep.
Animal handling.
Yeah.
19.
23.
All right. So you guys sort of make to the left as the axe comes down. Just when it hits the ground, it makes this massive tremor. Dirt shoots up in the air, but he misses you by a mile.
Slide to the left.
Yep. And then he picks the axe back up again, and he's slow turning towards you guys. So you guys can fire at the same
We're
time.
charging our laser
Okay.
and shooting them.
All right. Fire to shoot. Or roll to shoot.
18.
Yep. So you shoot the beam off. It puts a hole like right in his hip and just goes through the other side. It sort of cripples him for a second, and then it fills back in, and he gets back up, and he starts making his way towards you guys.
You should shoot him in the head.
Animal handling again.
Got a 18.
19.
He swings again and misses. Your cannon, when you try and fire it this time, it goes as in it needs to recharge for a little bit, about 30 seconds or so. It's not too bad.
Ride away from him for 30 seconds.
Yep.
So
Shield.
With our shield up.
okay, so he's going to change that arm into a spear, and he's going to try and toss it at you guys.
Oh.
Let's catch it, bro.
If it'd be awesome if you could use the monk trait.
To catch it and throw it back. So
Like the Night King.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's change this Voltron control into more of like a Pacific Rim kind of control where we mind meld. And then I use my karate skills as a rivet.
you can try that.
Are there some helmets hanging from the...
There are some. So there's a button that says mind meld, and it's got tape next to it. ? Shrug.
Shrug emoji.
Yeah, shrug emoji.
Let's put those
So
helmets on
there's a
the boat.
button. There's no helmets that you see, but there's a button.
This is how you become a monk again.
Let's do it. Beep.
So you hit the button, and then
Oh, you don't want to mind meld
from the
with
back
Growl.
of your chair, it's like it's not a helmet. It's like the things that they used for
They drill into your
not a
brain.
lobotomy, but when you got electroshock therapy, it's like those 2 little foamy things, and they're just there, and then you have to press them in the rest of the way.
Let's do this.
So let's see how that goes. And it says you all have to press the button simultaneously.
3, 2, 1. Let's
Press.
get
Okay. You all will take 18 electrical damage, as this just zaps you and doesn't seem to do anything at all because I rolled a 9.
Ow.
Try again.
And then he's going to try and attack again while you guys are riding away. This time he will hit, and it's going to hit Donkeyhote. Well, actually, let's roll for that.
Oh.
Yeah, he's going to hit Donkeyhote in like the ass with a spear. And it spears Donkeyhote, and he just goes, yeah, sure, we'll go with that. And he's not riding as well because it went through the whole way.
But he is a rivet. So it's
Yeah.
not- he's
Thinking robots
He's
feel
not
pain.
dying. He's just having a tough time running. Some gears aren't working as well. So yeah, so you guys can try your mind meld ability again before he throws another spear, or you could try and shoot again.
Yeah, try shoot again before we try to mind meld
Yeah.
again.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm below half health.
Are you aiming for anything in particular, or just
The
shooting?
brain. We're all assisting Brock.
His brain.
You get one extra.
His
you get
mind
advantage.
brain.
And who's got a higher dex? Shouldn't Cord be firing the gun?
You guys decided Brock was the
No, I'm
gunner.
taking it.
We
Fuck
don't-
off.
You'd have to
We
change
don't.
cockpits.
It's straight roll, right? We're not adding dex.
No, he's the sword arm. I'm the gun arm. Decided. That's
What?
23.
Retcon.
It's straight roll.
Yeah, it's just a straight
You're
roll.
not-
18.
Okay. So you're hitting him in the head?
Yeah, shoot those gems, bro.
All right. So you hit him in the head. It seems like when the beam hits the gems, it sort of doesn't reflect or anything, but it sort of goes around and it gives him a bit of like brain trauma as he's got some holes in his head now. Yeah, he's a bit off
Do it again.
right now.
Can't say that.
Hit him again!
We're gonna charge the cannon.
He's a
not-
bit off.
Alright,
It's
so
not
while he's
charged.
a bit off, let's hit those. Let's get those.
He's gonna
Let's mind meld.
stupidly try and throw a spear, but it's gonna he throws it. It comes out the back of his hand. Like
It's like a quarterback who just got sacked.
yeah. Yeah. So mind meld again.
Come on, baby.
Zzzt, and y'all get shocked again.
No!
18 damage.
Stop it. Whew. I don't know if I can survive more of those.
I use a cure wounds on him. Second level.
What are you at?
32.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
at 43.
Are you just going to be riding at him, or are you like riding?
It's like go
To the side.
Go around and away.
You
Okay.
get
He throws another spear with.
15 hit points.
Actually, we'll give him disadvantage. Yeah, no, that was actually. Yeah. So he throws another spear. It's going to hit you guys in the waist area. And you can
So
hear
we're
it.
Bolted to Donkeyhote now?
Kind of, yeah.
Hits us right in the poop.
So you can hear it go into the robot, the Mutron, if you will, because it's
Right.
actually not too far from where you guys are located.
So our robot does no longer have a dick.
I would say more about the belly region. You're more where the heart would be located, I would say, because you're the heart of the robot. But yeah, it's caused. If you tried to get off of Donkeyhote, you wouldn't be able to like move, probably. Basically paralyzed from the waist down.
Alright, shoot him again.
But yeah, I would say you can fire off again. Aiming for the head, I assume.
Crit 20.
All right.
Yes!
So you charge up again, and the sights are lining up. It's like in almost every fighter plane movie where the targets all have to line up. Lines right up on the gem. It's just zoomed in on his face.
Stay on target.
Fires off and basically blows his entire head off. And the gems just sort of fly off behind him somewhere. And everything just crumbles as far as he goes. And like a wave, all of the plant stuff turns back to what it was before. As you guys gallop through people.
Let's stop.
Stop, Donkeyhote. Stop. Turn off the saw shoes. And
animal
the fire
handling?
dick.
10.
19.
All right, so Donkeyhote stops. Is fire dick still going off?
No,
I guess?
no.
No.
Turn it
Okay.
off. Turn it
All
off.
right, so
Turn everything off.
everything's off now.
Shut it down. Shut it all down.
Yeah, but yeah, all the people are fucked right in that area you were just in.
Are they still people?
Now they are.
Brock, you should call in your copter and you should go get those gems before someone touches them.
Yeah, call it in the copter.
I open up the cockpit
Okay,
and I run to get the gems.
Oh yeah, do you have your helmet?
All right.
Helmet?
so you open up the cockpit, you hop out.
And I run down Donkeyhote and then do like a lamer version of what we did as a giant robot and just and then ant pack.
Okay,
And then every so often I'll keep ant packing forward.
okay. So the two gems are about 10 feet apart, and they're sort of rattling a bit, and they're steaming. It looks like.
All right, I grab them with cloth
Okay,
and pouch them and then go back to Donkeyhote.
okay.
Should we ask Ralph if he can take care of these gems for us?
What would Ralph do with the gems?
I don't know. He's a celestial. These are like gems of power. Maybe he'll take him to space or something.
They're his children.
So the
Is it-
other part I forgot to mention.
Deadbeat dad.
So since everyone turned back to normal, your arm now falls off,
Franklin's
and Franklin
dead.
falls from the
Dead.
robot.
You sure he's not squished to death? by a metal arm that
Well, I
he-
mean, it would let go or whatever as soon as he changes back. So I'm gonna say he's just gonna fall.
Let it go, Frankie.
You gonna try and save your friend, Brock?
No, I don't care anymore.
Alrighty.
I'll try to dive and catch him.
I'm inside a cockpit. How am I gonna?
Because he jumped out, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you could dive out and try and catch him.
Before I
Crit 20.
how high up are they?
50 feet.
I just crit 20. I got him.
Okay.
With a lasso.
Wait. Yeah. How would you get him? You're just jumping and
How
getting
would
him?
he have gotten him?
I was asking.
I was gonna spear dive him.
Spear dive him 50 feet up.
Yeah, but now I'm not because it's 50 feet up. So, good luck with your friend.
I used a rope and tied it to the cockpit,
didn't have
and
enough
I
time.
swung around and picked him up. I got a crit 20. I can do whatever I want.
It's not a matter of what. It's just
I
not
got a crit 20.
time.
I can do whatever I want.
I would say you could jump out of the cockpit,
I lasso him up.
catch
around his
him,
neck.
and then lasso something and
Yep,
swing
I
around.
did. That's what I did.
So you do that. You catch onto the donkey dick and swing around, and you land safely with Franklin Sandcastle naked in your arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's like romancing the stone.
Yeah.
to paint the
exactly.
picture, Mecha Brock starts to lasso up as soon as he sees him falling, jumps out, does a midair lasso
Yep.
of Franklin Sandcastle, and then
No, he catches Franklin
No,
with
I,
his arms.
I catch Frank one-armed,
He kind of did what you were doing.
and my
the dive
lasso
tackle.
gets onto Don Quixote's dick, and then we just
swing around.
Swung
around it like it was a tether ball.
And then you basically land on the ground like those.
And I land on the ground on my
parachuters do.
knees with Franklin.
don't disrespect the flag.
Power sliding?
like the parachuters do
It's not about
when they come in.
respecting or disrespecting the flag.
It's about,
If you think it's about the flag, then you don't know what's going on.
it's about the military.
Yeah.
No.
It's about
No, it
disrespecting the
isn't.
troops.
It's about God.
Yep. So you managed to catch Franklin, who's
Kiss him
naked.
awake.
He was never asleep.
What?
His eyes were just.
He was never asleep or eyes closed.
His eyes were closed. And was
blinked
Start
for
making
a
out with a
moment.
man, just like, ah!
Whoa, Brock. I love you too, just as a friend.
I didn't do that.
You kissed me in the mouth.
No, I didn't.
Now you're gaslighting him. That's all.
Actually, roll a dex check.
With advantage. Crit 20!
Yep. So you kiss him in the mouth.
The tongue.
He
Wait.
tries to stop you, but he can't.
No. On the mouth. Kiss me on the mouth.
Yeah, I remember.
right.
I'm putting myself in this situation basically from memory.
Never happened. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
So yeah, so you've saved Franklin Sandcastle, and there's just
How's a
millions of people naked milling about, confused.
It's like Burning Man all
Do
over
I have
again.
a Mega Voltron megaphone?
I mean, you could use
High-low.
one.
I'm gonna crack on the voice comm.
It starts with
Dun, 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 dun,
well, no, I was gonna go with an ice cream truck jingle because they kind of just piecemealed this thing together. But, and then it sort of cuts out a bit, and then
Attention, citizens. There's shelter to be had in what's the name?
Big Tinkerton.
In Big Tinkerton, which is just to the north. Please, in an orderly fashion, go there to get your clothing and probably rations.
there are way too many people.
There are none of those
And we'll
things.
start shuttling you to your various homes. Organize yourself by, I don't know, where you're from.
Some of the kids are like, "I lived in Cork. Guess I can't go home."
I don't even know what that
I
means.
don't know what
fuckers.
that is,
I've
and
never
I'm
been to
sorry
Cork.
You all-
I'm sorry for shaving your life. Because apparently your home was also destroyed, just like mine. I don't even have a dojo anymore.
Yeah, you should tell them about the dojo.
I'll be constructing a dojo
In every town.
in Mecca, yes. In every town across this great country that is now
Destroyed.
What are you naming the country? You're apparently in charge.
this
I mean,
great
technically,
continent.
all the main leaders are dead. So
dystopia.
No, the mayor of Big Tinkerton's still alive.
is he?
I don't know, is he?
No.
Well, what about the mayor?
A lot of people died in Big Tank.
What about the people, like, the mayor of New Cloverton or the mayor of Barkinsall? Justin Trudeau's dead, but
What's his name?
what about
Caribou Doe, yeah. Caribou Doe.
they were all taken?
Barkinsall mayor's fine.
Yeah,
New Cloverton mayor's fine.
yeah.
Who's the other person
The
you're asking?
Atlantean Queen?
Dead.
Oh.
I think their race might be over.
That sounds like correctness.
Well, she was laying a lot of eggs.
Well, no, if the queen dies, another female just turns into a queen.
Oh.
But you do hear.
The queen's dead.
Actually, I don't even remember how the voice goes. So I'm just gonna. You could see. What was this? Doctor what?
Beckett.
Dr. Beckett is alive. And he's wandering around, so he is alive. You do see him.
So what are we gonna do with all these gems?
All these gems
What
in
gems?
this bag.
Ralph, my good man.
So basically, Ralph just pops the gun off, just like, yeah, fuck that shit. I'm done with being a gun. That was cool for about 5 minutes.
What are you gonna be now?
Same thing I always am, a
farmer.
crystal. Maybe I'll be God. God of these stupid naked heathens.
Well, do you think you could destroy these crystals for us? They seem to be creating a lot of strife. That would be a very godly thing to do.
He's like, oh, put him in my mouth. And then he's floating at this point, and he just floats near you. He's about humanoid size at this point, and just opens up a hole in the crystal.
Pac-Man kind of guy?
Yeah, sure.
I'm imagining the giant head from Rick and Morty, but smaller.
Sure. Not quite.
That we just throw the gems in his
Yeah,
mouth.
I'm gonna put the gems from the gun. I'm gonna jump down and start feeding him the gun gems.
Okay.
The
So
gun
you
gems?
you plop one in one at a time, and they you can see them go in, so like in the blob, how people dissolve in the blob. This gem somehow floats around inside of him, and then the little electricity of his gem hits it and sort of dissipates, and his gem changes color a bit to whatever the gem is that he ate.
He's like getting a gusher.
Yeah.
Got it.
So you do that for each, or you're doing that for all the gems?
Yeah.
Well, the 3 that I have access to, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you put all the gems in one after another, and then he turns into a rainbow-colored gem.
Aww.
And he's just
I
like,
knew you were trying to push your agenda upon our podcast.
Your agenda.
he goes, well, that was a tasty treat.
Turns into a butterfly in the sky.
And then he goes, "Bleh," and just shoots this rainbow beam that just decimates a mountain. And he's like, well, indigestion. He's like, all right, you fucking naked heathens, I'm your new god. Start rubbing. And he just settles. And like some people who are confused, he's like, I said start rubbing! And the air and the ground shakes somehow. And everyone's like, oh, and they just run up and they start rubbing. He's like, yeah, like that.
Yeah.
And he just, that's it. That's how it you have to take shifts in rubbing him from now on to keep him happy.
This shall be the site of a great temple.
Pretty much.
And a dojo.
Yes, that goes without saying.
So over the course of the next few months, everything sort of tries to get back to a sense of normalcy as the cities rebuild, the people have all started to
I run for mayor of Big Tinkerton.
go back. Okay, you can do that.
And I try to start building a temple around.
Well,
Jim. I'm more of a dojo, obviously.
Do it now. Before he says what he's about to say.
okay.
And I go to first. David Hypan's going to go back to Big Tinkerton.
Okay.
Try to make sure that Peggy's all right.
You can try and find Peggy.
I will try to find Peggy.
Currently, all the people that knew where Peggy were are dead.
Well, wouldn't they say she was in the
Mental hospital,
yeah?
but
I say, you there, gnome.
Yeah?
Where's the mental hospital?
The good one.
The good one.
oh, the good one. Well, kind of half of it's missing.
Well, where's the half that's remaining?
It's over by the right side of town.
Peggy escaped.
I head on up.
Okay. So, yeah, it literally looks like half the building is missing.
She's on the run.
And there's some people doing repairs and things like that to the outside and trying to fix it and that sort of thing. People putting fires out, that kind of thing. There are a few people in straitjackets that are being put in like a pen to just kind of hold them in a spot for a bit while they figure out what to do.
Excuse me, Dr. Nish.
Yes!
I'm here to see a patient.
Yes, who are you looking for?
I'm looking for Peggy.
Peggy. And then someone
Secretary to
comes
the
up to him and
mayor?
whispers in his ear, and he's like, oh, Peggy's dead. Yeah,
Then how is my friend
Peggy's dead.
George still alive?
Don't know.
Did she give birth before she died?
Nope, she's just dead.
Are you sure?
This sounds like a convenient
Nope,
lie.
totally sure she's
You got
dead.
an insight there. You got a 23 wisdom.
I got a 15.
I rolled a crit 20, so you think he is telling the truth. You are 100% positive, in fact, that he is telling the truth. Peggy's dead as shit.
Well, all right then. I'm running for mayor.
All right, cool. I guess
So-
you exist outside of space-time, and
Not long after you guys save the day, a portal opens up in front of Cord.
Huh?
Whoa, 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 whoa. And out steps an old, we'll go with an old man. An old man steps out.
Who are you?
Shut up, Cord! You gotta come with me! No, I don't know. I don't know what you're doing.
It's an old you.
Oh, it's me!
Yeah, it's old you. Telling him to, I was going to say to tell him to come back.
is he wearing a metal mask?
They need him in the future.
Oh.
He has a face transplant and robot eyes. He
God,
looks-
you're a monster!
Cord!
he's still terrifying.
Come with me, Cord! It's your kids!
That's my monster,
It's your
Dad.
kids, Cord!
What?
Come back with me!
Okay.
Come back to the future!
I just want to say,
And I grab his
I'm the
arm!
mayor!
And I
I'm the
drag him into the
mayor!
portal!
I'm the mayor!
Bloop. And then it just closes right around him, unless somebody wanted to jump in with him.
Yeah, why not?
Do you? Okay, that's fine. You can if you want to.
Girl's coming with me!
Roll
Girl's got nothing going for him here.
dex check.
19.
Yep, you bloop, pop right in.
Well, I guess that leaves me.
Well, Brock's here too. Regular Brock is
Ah,
here.
yes, regular rock.
By the way, as old Brock was being sucked in, he glanced over in your general direction. He goes, "Fuck, I'm ugly." And it just bloop.
I had a helmet on.
He knows you're ugly.
I am going to move
Okay.
to New Cloverton.
All right. And what are you going to do there? Like, what do you want to do with the rest of your life?
I'm going to be the librarian.
Okay. You could be like, you don't want to sell books this time. You just want to
I
rent
want to
them.
rent them out.
Okay. So you become the librarian. Is there any particular type of race you'd want to marry? Like a blind rabbit or something? Something blind. It's going to be blind.
It's not blind. It's a naked mole rat.
It's a naked mole rat. Oh, God.
Woman.
Yeah.
Man.
It's horrifying.
I'm going to roll for
Can't
that.
really tell the difference.
Naked mole man.
It's a man.
Naked mole rat man.
Okay, you marry a naked mole rat man. All right, and you're a librarian. You're fairly successful for a librarian?
Hey, man, librarians have to go through a
I
lot
know.
of schooling.
I know.
To learn their card catalogs.
Yeah.
Memorize
Dewey Decimal,
that
man.
Dewey Decimal.
Yeah.
I also make maps
Yeah,
as a hobby.
sure. Cartographer. Why not?
And I
You
build...
fight crime.
I don't...
Are you
Through
retired?
education.
Yeah. Fighting the root causes of crime.
Corruption.
Yeah.
All right, so are you retired from your life of vigilanteism?
You would think that, wouldn't you? Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you're retired. You have a couple more kids. They
How?
all die.
Naked rat.
How?
Mole
Oh,
rat
that's
man.
right.
They adopt.
I don't. Those are
Okay,
throwaway
never mind.
things.
You don't have any kids.
I can say that. It's my word.
Yeah. So you just have a pretty whatever life.
Can Dr. Beckett fix my face?
No.
Jeez.
I'm not even
A
rolling.
couple times.
What's he gonna do?
Well, it tastes better, but
He can mummy wrap it. No.
I already told you how it. Well, you see how it gets fixed in the future.
Beckett could do it.
He can't do
need
it.
this.
You want Beckett to do it?
No, no,
You need gnomes
We can
to
have
do it.
Beckett do it.
no.
But yeah, no, the gnomes would do it for free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
they would do it to the best of their ability if you wanted them to do it.
No, I don't wear my helmet while I'm at work.
No
Because
one ever comes to the library for something.
I know, but at least I have. It's a union job, so it's like.
Yeah. No, I'm saying because
You're the only
you don't wear
member.
your helmet, no one goes to the library.
No, I understand that. I
They
do
wait
it on
till
purpose.
your days off. and
I
then they
don't.
go.
I work 7 days a week.
Well,
Don't want to see anybody.
nobody.
At this point, it's all done through digital downloads.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say it's going to take quite a while for technology to rebound in the sort of.
Cloverton actually never got hit.
All
Yeah.
the people were gone, but the
Yeah.
tech should have stayed.
Cloverton wasn't really high tech.
I mean, we had
We had telephones.
maps.
Yeah. Oh, maps. Oh, okay. Well,
What were we always making fun of? Dogtown.
Arkansas, because they were so far in the
Yeah,
Stone
but-
Ages.
They didn't have something.
Wheels.
Oh.
I
was it?
can't remember.
electricity,
Guns
Roads.
or anything. They had spears and
cars,
just rags.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. We made fun of them because they had spears.
Yeah.
And the town over had guns.
Yeah.
It's like, did you forget to level up your fucking tech and civilization?
They weren't about that
Not
kind of life.
established trade relations.
Trade? Never heard of
So Big Tinkerton will basically rebuilds itself, although not as well as it used to because it doesn't have a constant drummer. It doesn't have a constant supply of metal to build all the crazy shit that they were building before. All their tanks and helicopters were destroyed during the war, so
Good.
they don't really care about that.
What about the
I guess you'll have
Brockacopter?
to turn your shelves into weapons.
Brockacopter was never able to be used.
And will never be able to be used.
Yep, because the 3 keys are not in existence anymore. 2 of them.
Well,
no,
they are.
one of them is.
No, all 3 of them are.
They all
In
exist.
the future.
In the future, that's true. So each of the towns got
So in the future we use it.
Yeah.
Maple Hills sort of puts itself back together. They're pretty traumatized though. The rabbit folk find peace since a lot of them were wiped out and hunted by moose people. So they sort of set an accord to not be dicks, but they are actually led by the tortoise people. The tortoise people kind of took over. And they're the tenants. High rent. Monastery Malamar all got their wishes at some point with the bleach. They all went up to join Kenny or whatever the fuck his name was.
In the Taco Bell in the
In
sky.
the Taco Bell in the sky. And each of the cities sort of rebuilt itself, and they shared technology, although nobody really advanced too far for a while. David Hypan, what did you do with your rest of your life?
I shot a glorious dojo on top of Ralph, where he'd be constantly polished, and my students.
Right. Oh, you got you.
Wax on.
We can't
wax
start
off.
at one top of them?
He could be in
Build
the
a
middle of the
temple
middle.
around
You
it.
can build
around
around
them.
it, though, yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Okay.
And then I will start franchising other cities to create some sort of religion.
Okay. That's yeah. You managed to. No
He's-
one
that's
dares
easy
to
to
turn
do.
down your
No,
permits. He helped save the
I'm the
world.
only hero left to save the world,
I'm still here.
Brock's still there.
and is able to be gazed upon without vomiting.
Well, my obsidian star
Does,
mask.
David Hypan take in a young gnomish orphan that crawls out of the darkness one
I
day?
keep an eye out for a young gnomish orphan to cross.
Yeah, there's a young gnomish orphan that arrives with a note on his chest from Peggy.
He's got
Pinned to his
robot
chest.
parts
I
already.
try to track him down after I see this.
You can try.
What am I rolling?
Investigation?
It's totally business.
Nope.
No. Yeah.
18 then.
Yeah. No. You never find Peggy. No one ever sees Peggy again.
For what I tried.
There's rumor of a wild gnome in the mountains that rapes and murders many that bother to come through the mountains, but no one has ever survived the tale.
Only humans that wear trench coats.
Yeah.
It's my Dasho. Quiet night
If
in
you
the mountains.
you can hear.
Dasho.
Yeah, should I take this young lad in,
Train him up.
train him to be a warrior,
Train him to be a
Alright.
paladin.
Train him to be a paladin.
and I tell him to ignore his charisma and strength? He won't be needing those.
Ever.
Yep. All right. So that's pretty. Do monks take up like wives or anything like that? Are you
Sure.
Depends on the
Okay.
sect.
Many.
So did you?
Many.
You wanted many wives? All right, many wives and many children.
One for each dojo and each city.
Sure. And they each become karate masters,
Yes.
and they all have that glorious accent, and they all lead this country to a new age of kung fu mastery. In fact, everybody was kung fu fighting, one could say. So yeah. So everyone's figured out their fates, their futures, and all that stuff. And thanks so much again for tuning in for the second season. I know it's a long one, but thanks for hanging in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And upcoming, we will have a few one-offs, short stories, that sort of thing, before we get into season 3, which will be a little bit different. Hopefully we'll see you guys there. Check us out next time.
You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Botch Podcast. Thanks to the people who support us over at patreon.com/Botch Podcast. And thank you to the people who spent the time to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes.
As always, when you're setting up dojos across the country, say botched.
Inscribe Botched.
Hiya, Botch.
Hiya, botched. And we'll do you.
We'll heal you.
Thank you.
Does anybody want to say any kind words before we
See you
play?
next season, assholes. Brock made it through the whole thing! Wubba-lubba-dub-dub!
And enjoy this jaunty tune.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Well, she was looking kind of dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You'll never know if you don't go. You'll never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold. It's a cool place, and they say it gets colder. You've undered up now, wait till you get older. But the media men beg to differ, judging by the hole in the shadowlight picture. The ice we skate is getting pretty thin. The water's getting warm, so you might as well swim. My world's on fire, how about yours? That's the way I like it, and I'll never get bored. Hey now, you're an all-star, get the game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star, get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold. Yes, this is David High Pan, and today we're gonna be practicing high kicks. Give me those good high kicks, yes, and punch. Punch, punch, high kick. High kick, punch, punch. Punch, punch, high kick, yeah. Very good. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shootings. Take it away, Brock, you son of a bitch.
Somebody once asked, could I spare some change for gas? I need to get myself away from this place. I say, yep, what a concept. I can use a little fuel myself, and we could all use a little change.
Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You'll never know if you don't go. Go! You never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get a show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold. Good night, Internet. You're fucking fabulous. High kicks forever. Goodbye.